Hello, everyone. Saying is still okay if I tell your story like you said I could this morning? Oh, I'm wondering if there's going to be a lag. Hey, Sarah, Gypsy, Jumbo. Okay, I wasn't going to say your name or anything like that anyway. Hey, Mars, how are you? I was actually just fixing to email you. I'm dropping the link in case anybody wants to come up. Hey, Alice. How's everyone doing today? What are you cooking? I always need new ideas of something to cook the next day. Hey, Anita, I'm glad you made it. I just dropped the link if you want to come up here on panel. I did a chef salad tonight. I was like, I'm not staying in the kitchen all night. Okay, so part of tonight, I'm going to be summing up the story of why Sane Insane is basically homeless, waiting on her apartment to come through in about 3 weeks. And there will be a trigger warning that goes along with it, but I will not go into major detail because, number one, from talking to her over the past 3 or 4 weeks, I really don't feel like she's ready to hear her story being told. She's ready to tell it or have it told for her safety, but I don't think she's, wanting to hear all the details. That sounds so good, Mars. But okay, for Sane, I'm just gonna sum up some of the stuff. She's 23, I believe. 23. Am I right in saying? Okay. Maybe that's part of the details you don't want out there. Anyway, she was living with her boyfriend that they had been together since they were like 14 or 15, just hanging out, doing the teen thing. They both had very abusive homes. So when they turned 17, they got an apartment and was living life pretty much um, as they could, just on their own, still going to school. Hey, Anita, glad you come up here.
Hi, thank you for the invite.
Oh, no problem. Glad to have you. Everybody, this one, well, some of y'all already know her, but she is a social worker that was going to be on the last live about domestic violence and then couldn't make it. So if anybody has any questions for a social worker, she is totally the one. But anyway, they were living in their little apartment and everything, and he proposed to her. The day after she accepted, when they were 19, he started throwing things at her, telling her basically that he owned her, that she had agreed to it because she had accepted his proposal, that he wanted an old fashioned wife. They had been just doing, like a lot of takeout and stuff like that young people do. And she can cook, by the way. But it was his choice for the takeout and stuff. They just grabbed something on the way home from work. Well, she started changing up a little bit about herself and thinking that she could, you know, I guess convince him that she was going to be the perfect wife. Hey, LB, good to have you here. And things just kept getting worse. He started locking her out. He started cheating around on her. He started using drugs, blaming her for it. He quit his job. He was staying home. He was stalking her at work. Although sane, there's quite a few people in here that can actually tell you, like I have told you, you can be with somebody and they can still stalk you. She's having trouble understanding that him sitting at home and then sitting outside of her work or going in and causing a commotion when she was dealing with customers or something is not stalking because she was with him. I have tried for a while now to tell her that that is considered stalking. But it got to the point that he ended up going into her work and locking her into the cooler that they had in the very back. And she is a trans girl. And he decided that he would, um, okay, YouTube appropriate, do some surgeries on her while she waited for her surgical letters and stuff to come through. So she spent a little bit of time in the hospital after that. He was arrested. Then he somehow or another got out on some technicalities, and he got out after she had got back home. And then when he got out, she left, and she has been in her car ever since. That was about a month and a half ago. Yes, Sarah. Sane Insane, the one that was in Jimbo's last night. I finally got her, subscribed to most of y'all where she'll have a support system. And she does now have an apartment. I did get a landlord to agree to give it to her, but she has to come up with the deposit and the rent, which I think she said is like $425. and she is working and stuff, and she also is a nurse. She works at the hospital, and just works in a store kind of on the weekends and stuff to have something to do. But it'll be like 3 weeks when she'll have that money to get that apartment. And she told me earlier that there is a couple that is trying to beat her out of that apartment. So, I guess light your candles, say up your prayers or whatever, that um, she does get it. Any advice, Anita?
What state is she located in?
She's in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we have very limited resources around here. She's not in my town. She's
Mhm.
I want to say probably about an hour and a half away from me. I won't even say the direction for her safety, but yeah, she's about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes away from me.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably about like the state I'm in when it comes to resources.
Yeah, very limited. And she is out. She's openly trans.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, it's great. It's awesome that she can be out. But
Right.
when it comes to services and stuff, that just makes it a lot harder.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, do you think she would talk to me one on one?
She might. I can give her your email.
Okay. Um, yeah. And she's a nurse, right? So she has like decent income coming in.
Yeah, she will have. Um, I mean, she was off of work when she was in the hospital and stuff,
Right. Right.
and everything. So she just got back to work. It'll be 3 weeks when she gets her check.
Okay. I'll look through my information and see what I have for that area or that state.
Okay, I do really appreciate that because I mean, I hear about this stuff all over the place, and then like I do my best to help everybody no matter where they are, but when I see the system here in Oklahoma, I mean, it really aggravates me.
Yeah.
I want to say aggravate to keep it YouTube appropriate, but
Right. Yeah, it's the same here in Mississippi, believe me. Unfortunately, I've gone through it twice.
yeah. Hey, Grizz, good to see you. But yeah, she said that she would email. So I will give her your email later after we close out here and everything.
I sure appreciate it. Now, I'll do my best, to help.
Yeah, I had told her last night when we was talking that I was actually going to just talk to you and see if you had any specific information because I didn't know if you was still busy with everything or not to come here today. But
Well, dealing with family issues, that's just about an everyday ordeal. But I needed to make time because this is something I'm passionate about. And, I think about my sisters every day. And, it, maybe if I can share their story with her, it'll help.
yeah, because I mean, I know a lot of it with the survivors is actually hearing that other people have made it and everywhere from being out of a situation at 2 days to 30 years, just knowing that there is life after.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, if you wanted to tell your story, more than free to do so here. Um, If not, then that's very respected too.
Um, I can give some detail. Um, some people in my family don't know everything, and that was um, just to kind of help them, to get through because it was tragic enough. Uh,
Yes.
but so my oldest sister, she battled alcohol for a long time, um, and she liked attention, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. And she left 13-year marriage one day, and she was with this guy that would hit on her, and when she would come around with bruises, she would make just excuses. But we kind of knew, there are only so many times you can run into a kitchen cabinet.
Exactly.
Um, so my sister's drinking got it was bad. I tell people that it took her from herself long before this man killed her. But so she, after my grandmother died, everyone gave their shares of the home to her, and she couldn't keep a job, she couldn't keep her finances straight, so she got behind on back taxes, and a family member was going to pay it for her, and she blew the money, so she ended up losing the house. And she spent the last 3 weeks of her life in a tent adjacent to the church that we grew up going to. And it was known as Tent City. And there have been, um, we've heard different stories about what led up to this, but um, her boyfriend stabbed her in her side on a Friday afternoon. Like I said, various reasons. Some people say it was because she was going to quit drinking. Some say that she was going to leave him. Some say it was over a bottle of vodka. Um, but he stabbed her, and she lay there until Sunday evening. And she tried to go get help, and she collapsed just right behind the church. And her boyfriend at the time called the police, um, called 911 to get her some help. So that and a couple of other things like self-defense are what led the grand jury to say he was not guilty. But let me back up for a minute. I at the time I had planned on the next week going to make peace with my sister because the last time we saw each other, it wasn't very pleasant. But at that time, she was so far gone and lost that anyone that come in contact with her did not have a pleasant encounter.
Yeah.
So we had tried to help her because the news and the media made it seem like we just didn't care, and that's not true. Um, I had a lady in the capital area of our state that was going to offer her a bed at a shelter, and the deal was, or my plan was, I was going to try to
Hey, Mel.
take her. I was going to try to get her in the vehicle with me without him, um, and just mention it to her. And I knew deep in my heart she would say no. But so I had planned to do this on a Tuesday. Well, Sunday night I had trouble sleeping, and um, I worked early hours, so I was usually in the bed by 9 p.m. And I turned the news on, and they said that this 46-year-old woman had been stabbed, and she was transported to a local hospital. They did not say the woman had died, and they did not mention her name. But again, I knew in my soul it was her, and I told my best friend, I said, I need to call the hospital. And I called and told them a few things, and they asked if we could identify her, and it was her.
That is so sad.
Yeah, um, yeah. It's It was tough because when I was little, my sister Gina, my oldest sister, was tough. She didn't take anything off of anyone, and me as a little kid, a puny kid at the time, I kind of got bullied. When I was in elementary school, I got bullied a little bit, and she taught me how to fight. And so after she taught me how to fight, nobody bothered me anymore. And then I gained a little weight, and I was athletic in junior high, so nobody bothered me after that. But I looked up to her because she taught me that. But later on, that became part of her downfall, also, along with the alcohol.
Yeah, that's sad, but at least you got that really good memory. Like
Yeah,
she was there to protect you and teach you, and it's always after something that happens when we really start thinking about what that person did for us and stuff. And then
yeah.
of course the whole media coverage, they don't
So,
ever really see the family side of it. They just, clicks and views.
and then the news media, I was talking to the pastor of the church, and they were recording it, and I asked them not to record it. I told them I didn't want to give a statement. I told them not to put my niece and nephew, her children, on television. And oh, they did it, and they just made it look like we didn't care a thing about her. Um, it was bad. And then people, everybody's got something smart to say when it comes to social media. We heard all types of things. And then a year and a half later, I lost my middle sister, Diane. And the difference was with Gina, we at the end we didn't get along that well, but Diane was my best friend.
Oh, that has to be so hard to go through.
Yeah, and this one was her son. We don't know if anyone else was in the home with her. Um, but he has mental issues. He's still alive. Mental issues and drug and alcohol issues, and he had stolen her phone. And then he came home with it, and my niece had talked to her, and she could hear him yelling in the background, and she offered to come over, and my sister said no, everything's okay. And anyway, my sister's boyfriend came over after work and noticed her back door was unlocked, and he went in and he found her in the floor. Diane's son had taken her phone, her money, what little money she had, her keys. He had, from what we can tell, just from the way her shoes were and the blood droplets, it looked like she tried to get out the door. And I guess they fault, and maybe she fell on the other side between her table and her couch. But he had choked her. He had tied her, had her hands placed behind her back, and he had a sheet around her neck and her face.
That's so sad. That's one thing I've been looking up with the information and stuff for the subtopics and stuff for the domestic violence or the substance abuse. But it's leading back into the domestic violence. Like, no matter which topic we or I am picking, it's like it all leads back to domestic violence.
Right. Yeah. And with both of my sisters, there was a history. With Gina, it was different men, and each one would be a little more severe with the beatings. And with Diane and her son, it was constantly something. He spent most of his childhood in uh, mental health facilities, and then he was released right before 18, and then he was in and out of jail. Even now, he's still in and out of jail in Louisiana. We we pretty much have disowned him. Um, and I say we, it's my mom, my niece, and myself. We're, about those are the only close family members that I have. And for the longest time, I would always look up the jail dockets and all his different Facebook accounts to keep up with him. And the anger was just, it was eating me up, you know. And in between this happening with my sisters, I moved, and I'm older, so I was a non-traditional student. I moved, it's not that far, but 2 hours from home to a place where I knew absolutely no one. I was in survival mode myself because of PTSD from the things that we saw with both cases, and the lack of help from the DA's office and the police. Because Diane's son didn't serve any time for this. And the police fed us all this bull about, if her autopsy came back that she had had a heart attack or a stroke, they were going to charge him with her murder. And it came back that she had a heart attack. And um, then the police told us they never said that. So, but anyway, I moved here in survival mode, and I managed to get my undergraduate degree, and I started on my master's, but between life and relationships and other things, I had to put that on hold for a little while.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's something that you can always go back to.
yeah,
Like,
definitely.
just being in survivor mode, it got you to where you are, and from just a short amount of time that I have known you, I can already tell that you have done great things. Like,
Thank you.
your your story is very inspirational.
Yeah, and it took me a while for me to be able to say it without just breaking down and crying. Yeah, but it needs to be told, and I know it's helped several other people because they've told me, and that's all I want. I just and some people say, well, you can't save the world, and I'm like, well, no, but maybe I can save or help one. You
Yeah,
know, when it comes to the work that you and I do, we don't look for really big percentage numbers because we know better.
yeah, that's and plus anything when it comes to percentages and statistics and stuff, there's so much that goes unreported that literally nothing that's out there to go by is accurate.
Right.
Right.
And there
Uh,
are many reasons. People say, well, why did they stay? Well, there are many reasons, children, love, finances, and sometimes, to be honest, the fear of knowing, hey, I might get beat up tonight is easier for someone to take than the fear of the unknown and just leaving.
yeah, that's one of the big things that I have come across as well with many people. They're like, if he or she is coming home every day and I know it's going to happen, they can't surprise me in the middle of the night if I'm away and not knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it saying she just said I stayed because he said I couldn't leave.
Right. And I've heard that, I've heard them say, well, if I can't have you, no one will. Um,
Yeah, and that's usually a threat that is carried out.
right.
I don't know. I just feel like domestic violence is something that it should be a everyday conversation. You
Yeah.
know, I talk to people all the time, just customers, and they'll come in and I'll see like a hint of a black eye or something after I haven't seen them for a week or a week and a half, and I always try to open that door for them to talk. And some of them do, some of them don't. Uh,
Right.
I've had their partners get mad at me and actually come back into the store to tell me to stop talking to their wife or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I really don't want her, but if I can help her, I will.
Right.
Yeah, Mars says, yep, they make you think you can't live without them.
Yes.
But I'll drop this link again in case anybody else wants to come up here on panel with us. Anybody that has a story or anything to tell, this is a safe place. I mean, as safe as it can be online, of course, but no judgment, no telling you that you should have done anything different or anything like that. It's you made it out, or we might have advice to help you get out.
Right.
But yeah, if anybody has any information that could help somebody, anybody want to tell a story, anything, I'm not gonna keep this open like really long tonight, but I did want to go over it again. And next week, on Saturday, I believe, I have the live for the substance abuse. And then midweek, I'll hold another random chat like this for domestic violence, bullies, and substance abuse. And then each week, just add a new topic to the midweek live. That way, it kind of just stays out there. But I did, and this I did without talking to Sane and Sane. I created an Amazon list with a couple of gift cards and a blanket. And the reason that I added this blanket on there is because the blanket that she had, he kept telling her that she didn't need anything that, for her identity because she is non binary and trans. But she's more um, open with the trans because that's the presentation, that's the identity, that's what people see. And the one non binary blanket that she had is what he wrapped her in after he did his surgical procedures on her.
Hmm.
And so, if I can figure out how to copy this link, um, I'm going to also post it on my community page. And I do have it set up to where I will be delivering it to her because of her safety and stuff. I may actually have to. I think maybe this is the link. My computer is giving me fits today. But like I said, she's only like an hour and a little bit away from me. And if there is anything that arrives from this Amazon link, I will make sure that she gets it. Hey, Grandma, how are you doing today? I'm not sure if that link, yeah, it looks like it posted there. But the reason that I put the little Visa cards on there was because she does have competition now for that apartment. And the sooner that she can uh, make a payment or something, it will keep it for her. So hopefully, hopefully she doesn't lose that apartment because that's everything for her. It's in a very safe place. They do have a security guard there. Um, did it work, Sarah? It's okay, Sane. You can breathe. This channel is all about helping in one way or another, be it just by words or by actions. I kind of prefer both. I don't usually just try to help somebody by just, you know, appearing to be telling them what to do or whatever. There is a lot more to this channel than just that. It's just like with Feel the Love. I know she also goes into Jimbo sometimes whenever she can. I got her out of a domestic situation a while back. I'm kind of waiting on her to tell her story too. Okay, so it works. I will be putting that on my community page too. If anybody wants to help her, then it's there, and if not, then that's fine too. Like, I know everybody is struggling, and we're all in this together. 100%, we're all in this together. And there is no reason to be crying sane. A non-binary blanket. Okay, you know how they have like the pride flags and like the rainbow colors and stuff. A non-binary one is yellow, black, purple, white, or yellow, white, purple, black. It's just the colors to represent being non-binary, and non-binary is somebody that usually uses they them pronouns singular. Like, there's no um, gender, or they are both gender. So yeah, the one blanket that she did have, um, because like I said, she's non-binary and a trans female, but her expression and everything is for female. He didn't touch any of her trans stuff, but the one thing that she did have that represented, her personal level of who she is. And she does actually use the she pronouns as well as they. So it could be either with her, but the one thing that she did have that represented a deeper level of who she is, one that, she doesn't just go out and express all the time, is what he wrapped her in after he did his surgical procedures on her. So I put a blanket on there to replace that. But I also made sure that the blanket she had described to me is still a bit different than this blanket, so that this blanket won't be something that she just has to see all the time to remember that incident. It will be something that can hopefully give her some really good memories, and knowing that she has a community behind her. Saying, do you want to put out your cash app? There has to be a major lag on this today. Oh, yeah, same. I totally get that. Yeah, I know she shut down her Facebook and like Instagram and all of that stuff because of him. Some of it he went in and he changed the passwords and stuff too and made it so that she couldn't talk to her mom. Yeah, you see that saying? Grandma, she's I know you haven't met Grandma. She wasn't in Jimbo's last night, but Grandma is just kind of the community grandma here for everybody. So she's got some wise words. But mine, that one that I'm posting right now, that is mine. And I will send her every penny of it. I get paid tomorrow and I'm sending her some too. So I managed to get her some clothes from an organization that was about another 30 minutes farther away from me than she is. And they delivered, and she got some clothes, and I don't know what all was in it. I think like some shampoo and stuff like that because she can take a shower and stuff at the hospital where she works. And then she gets that uh what'd she say last night? I think I only seen it in chat. She hasn't actually said it to me like texting. I think she gets one meal while she's at work. And I do have a lady up in her area that is going to give her a microwave, a sofa, and I can't remember what else. There's like 5 or 6 things on that list. And then she said whatever else she could come across. So once she gets into that apartment, she will have some furnishings and stuff. Yes, yes, all of it's lowercase. So I do have that angle working out, and also with the trans Santa thing that I had put my kids on, I had a link for BetterHelp. They offer 6 months of free counseling, but the counseling also comes with like some resources and stuff too. And I was talking to one of the therapists there, and he said that he will pull her name. And so she already submitted that. So it's just a matter of time for him to get back into contact with her. Hey, Gator. No, it's my time. It's always my time. But yeah, I've been working a lot behind the scenes over like the past, I don't know, like 3 weeks or so with Sane. So hopefully, hopefully that's one more success story, by the end of this month. Hey, Truth, how are you doing? It's Anita Casey. She's from Jimbo's as well. Is is that like a low key hint that you want to come up on panel two? There's a link if anybody else wants to come up here with us. Feel free. Tell your bully stories, tell your domestic violence stories, how you got out, who helped you, where you found help. Well, it's good to have you here, Truth. Oh, now you see. You're trying to tell me how to run my channel, Gator. I see ya. Nah, it's all good. I really need some help on this channel. Anita, you can feel free to just, speak up or whatever. You don't have to stay over there muted.
Did you
Do
get comment?
what?
Did you get that comment?
Which comment?
I've never been on panel, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But
Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing either.
yeah.
Like we're totally in that same boat.
Right, that's why I haven't gotten my podcast up and running yet. But there's a site I use at work a lot, and anybody can use it depending on what you're looking for and what area you're in. It's called Find FIND Help HELP.org. And you just type in your zip code and it pulls up, what you need, like support, financial assistance, food pantry, medical care, um, housing. Sometimes they help with transportation. Sometimes they can help with rent.
Okay, I put that in. Um, I don't know. I might actually have to do the www thing before it. I can't see if it actually like links while I'm in StreamYard. So if the first one didn't do it, maybe the second one did, and if not, y'all just have to Google because I'm lazy like that. Hey, Gator.
I can type it in there. Let me type it in there for you.
Yeah, it might have to have the whole HTTPS and all that stuff. I don't know, but I will definitely put it on my community page later.
Great.
Sarah is on it tonight.
Oh, it's .org. My bad, Sarah.
Isn't that what I was typing?
I thought. Oh yeah, I just put .com. My bad. Never signed. Okay, I'm getting out of chat now.
It's okay. We're all still learning.
Hi,
No.
Anita.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm here to take control of Never Silence channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I really need the assistance.
I'm just joking. What story do you want to hear first? Domestic violence or bullying?
Whatever you are willing and able and comfortable with telling.
I'll tell you both of them. I just don't know which one to start with.
Whichever one you want to. Thank you for testing that link, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you for being a daggone ninja, man. I'll tell you my story, and then maybe you'll understand a little why I'm always depressed and shit. But hold on, I gotta find my vape, y'all. I'm sorry. Keep talking. I promise I'm coming back. Let me find my vape.
I bought one the other day. It was the Orion brand strawberry kiwi. I loved that thing, and now I cannot find it anywhere. I'm still so depressed over that. But yeah, and I do know that somebody else, and I'm not going to say a name at this point until they are actually ready, is wanting to tell the stories of how she got out of her situation, what all she was put through in her situation. And for anybody that had seen that little bitty live that got cut off right, halfway through basically, of the mother telling the story about her child being bullied by that teacher, it's the same person. And she is, at some point, it's no rush, um, will be telling those three stories kind of in full.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I missed your story real quick. Did you say that the strawberry kiwi they didn't have any more when you went back?
No, I bought one and I love that thing. And then it just disappeared. Like, I have no idea where it went. It's gone and it depresses me majorly. We have them. I'm just broke. But,
Do
you know,
you know how much are they over there?
I don't know. They're like 20, 18 something. Like, I don't know. I usually just charge them and then the boss takes them out of my check, a little bit here and there.
Oh wait, don't you work at a vape shop?
It's actually a convenience store, but we sell all kinds of stuff and probably stuff that he shouldn't be selling to begin with. But
Oh shoot.
it's on him. I just cook and stock. I refuse to do all the other stuff. Hey, KMP, is that Kim? Is it just initials? I really don't know how to say that one. I'm so sorry. But thank you for being here. And
Hi
Grandma,
Kanky.
I understand those triggers very, very well. So you have to do you. Your your mental health, your everything is major concern of mine as well. So I totally understand those that have to step out. I can literally get down to nobody watching this and I will still keep going because I know that there are some things that do trigger me and I have to watch them 2 or 3 times before I can get all the way through them. So that's the reason that I do these. Even, like the other day, 40 minutes talking to myself, basically, because I know at some point in time, somebody, may need something that's in it and it will just be there. So, yes, Skater, if you would like to continue.
Sorry if someone left because I was going to tell my
No,
story.
no, no, no. It's not because you're telling your story. It's just that they have triggers. And this chat has been up and down. And everybody already knows, this can be very triggering.
And I
So,
might have triggered some people tonight, and I'm sorry if I did.
no, don't be sorry for anything like that. We have to do this. Like, it's on us as a society to get the word out there. And if we get down to literally nobody watching, this live is going to be up and they can come back in and they can watch it, cautiously 5 minutes here, 20 minutes there, whatever. It's all about their mental health and stuff too. So, yeah, it's totally understandable. And I do actually I don't even think I did my banners or anything about, oh yeah, I do. Hey, I'm learning, right? Um, yeah. Okay, there I go. I got a little banner saying trigger warning for anybody that does come in. But no, these stories need to be told. You see, Grandma understands. She says, please never be sorry for telling your story. I know what I can handle, and that is up to me to protect. You are very correct with that, Grandma. However, here, I do try to make it so that everybody is comfortable. But there are some stories that are just really hard to tell or hear. And like me telling that little bit about what was going on with Sane and Sane, I left so much out because I can't even handle it. So I totally get it. So, okay, now I will shut up, Gator.
I'm nervous now. See, I stay high all the time to not have these feelings. And I was sitting here listening, trying to listen to you talk, and I like a flood of emotion just came through me because I'm reliving what I've been through, and I love him so much because this is such a long time span, but it's recent.
Yeah,
So it's still hard because I'm still in love with him, hence why I stayed so long. So it's really hard for me to talk about this because I don't like people to know all the stuff he did to me because I don't want people to hate him because I don't hate him.
that's very understandable.
I met him in December 2014 um by accident on Facebook, and I didn't like him. He wasn't attractive, like I don't know, he just wasn't my type. But for some reason I continued to talk to him, and then like months later I fell in love with him and we were together or whatever, and I knew that he had just gotten out of prison for meth manufacturing meth, but he told me that he was done with it, and he when he got out he wanted to change and all this and that, and I believed him. So we moved in together eventually, and I didn't really know, but he was using in my house, but I didn't know. Like I was so oblivious to everything about drugs because I was just like, I'm too good to do drugs. Anyone that does drugs is trash. And, like I was so like, I judged everybody. That's how it used to be. And then like when I fell in love with this dude, like my whole thing, everything changed. But we moved in together, and one of my friends at the time said she needed a place to stay for the night or whatever. So I let her stay in my house because she was a friend of mine for like 10 years. And little did I know that she was doing meth too. And of course, a meth addict is going to know a meth addict from another. So he took off with her and left me. And they went live in the woods and in her car and stuff like that. And then a few weeks later, I got a message from a friend of mine that said, "Hey, Tanner and Kevin got arrested. Look at this." So I opened up the thing that she sent me, and it was this big old article about Kevin and Melissa getting arrested. And in my heart, I cried so much for Kevin, but in my head, I laughed so much for Melissa. I'm glad she got whatever she got. was, this is why I can't trust people. This was a friend of mine for 10 years. A very good friend of mine for 10 years. We worked together. We were friends outside of work for 10 years. And she did this to me. And so, like, whatever, like, that was no friend. So I, I just had to get away from that. But, so they got locked up. And Kevin mailed me something. And of course, he was apologizing and everything. And for 6 months, I tried to move on and I couldn't. And so I mailed him a letter in December of 2015. And I told him that I was going to be there for him and I still loved him and everything else. So he did 3.5 years that time. And I was with him every step of the way, every minute, hour, day, week, month, year that went by. I was there. I didn't miss a visitation. He had money on his books. He called every day. That's what I did for him for 3.5 years. And in the beginning, before he went to jail, he never raised his voice at me, much less raised a hand at me. And my whole life, I was always like, man, I wish a man would put his hands on me. He would be 6 foot under. It's easy to say until you're in that situation. Because I said it my whole life. And when he got out of jail, I went to pick him up. It was October, I think, of 2018. And of course, as soon as he got home, we were doing math. So the next day or the day after, we went to the store to buy him some clothes. He just gotten out of prison. He didn't have anything. So, well, I had got him a few outfits while he was locked up, but, he didn't have hardly anything. So we went to the store, and when we got out, he wanted to drive. And I'm like, no, you don't have a license. Like, I'm driving. And he got mad at me. And then I started driving, and you have to understand this is in Louisiana where there's nothing but bayous, right? There's a bayou on each side of the road you travel on, no matter which road you're on or whatever. So we get out the store, and he gets mad at me because I won't let him drive. So I'm driving, and then I don't remember what was said, but he starts hitting me, pulling my hair. I'm driving, literally driving with my foot on the gas and my hands on the steering wheel on the freaking road. He grabs me by my hair and to like pull me in his lap. And then he started hitting me in the head and punching me everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like, this is the first time he ever put his hands on me. And we had already been together for almost 5 years then. But and granted 3.5 was in penitentiary. But I can't see without my glasses, period. I can't see. So when he was hitting me, my glasses fell. And I'm on this road with a bayou to the left of me and subdivisions to the right of me. And when I finally get to this stop sign, I could see because it was blurry red. So I knew it was a stop sign. A red light. So we're at the red light, and he's just steady beating me with my glasses off. And I stayed at the red light even when it turned green. And he was like, go, go, go before the police come. And I just keep screaming, how do you want me to go? How do you want me to go? I can't see anything. Where are my glasses? And he kept hitting me, screaming, go, go, go. So I just went. I didn't know where I was. I knew the direction I was going, but I didn't see the lines on the road. I just went. Thank God we were like less than 5 minutes away from my house at the time. And when I got home, well, when I was at the red light, like I was hitting him as much as I could, to try to get him off me. So whenever we got home, I just went straight in the room, and I had been crying, but I was just crying. And like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, he's never hit me before. I love this person. Like, I was hurt. I was mad. Like, I just was flooded with so many emotions. And that's just the first time that happened. And he came in and he was like, I'm sorry, whatever. And I just made excuses for him. Like it was probably because he just came out of prison. I don't know that situation. I've never been in that situation before. And then like it seemed to happen more and more. He would get mad at me for in this is single thing like little things I said. He was blaming me for doing stuff. And he would just grab me by my hair and just pull me wherever he wanted to pull me and just start beating me in the head. And that's mostly where he beat me was in the head. And one time I was driving again. No, he was driving. I was in the passenger seat. He started hitting me. My glasses came off again. My glasses broke so much that when I finally went to the eye doctor, before my glasses would come in, he gave me contacts. That's how much times my glasses were super glued together from being broken apart, from being punched off my face. Um, he was driving and he started pulling my hair and hitting me with one hand. And my glasses fell off again. And I just opened the door and fell out the car. I had one shoe in the car. My everything was in the car except I had my phone in my hand. So I fall out the car and then I see, of course, everything is still so blurry to me because my glasses are off. And I saw this truck at the stop sign that I just fell out the car at. So I ran up to it and I was like, please call the police, please call the police. I was like, he's beating on me. Can you please call the police? I must have not had my phone with me. And they just rolled their windows up and left. So
Man.
of course we talked it out or whatever and everything was fine like normal. And then in between this time he would leave me. Like whenever he would beat me, he would leave because he always assumed I was gonna call the police on it. So he would always leave. And then a few days later or whatever, a week later, I would, talk him into coming back or whatever and let him know that I loved him and I wasn't gonna call the police on him and we just needed to figure out a way. So my mom says, y'all both have family here. You have family here. He has family here. Maybe y'all need to go somewhere where y'all don't really have anybody too much to lean on because you know what I mean. Like we wouldn't have anybody to run away to, or like we would have to work our problems out together because it would just be us. So we decided to move here to Tucson, and everything when math was not involved. Everything was hunky dory. Everything was a fairy tale relationship. And when we moved here, first we rented a my cousin, one of my cousins worked at managing a RV park, and so we rented a RV from there because he had already gotten a job. Well, everything was great, and we decided just to stick to marijuana, um, and be sober, and have a fresh start here, right? Well, that happened for a little while. It was great. It was wonderful. I thought we were gonna make it, and then we meet this guy at the bus stop, and then ICE comes into the conversation, and next thing you know, it's right there again, and I got beat so much. One time he was beating on me, and I tried to run out of the RV before he could get to me, but he got me in the desert sand, in the dirt, down on the ground, kicking me and punching me in my head, kicking me and punching me. And when he got done with me and I was getting off the ground screaming, my cousin started making her night rounds around the RV. And she was like, "What the are you doing? Get the out of here." Before I called police, everything checking on me, and both my knees were busted open. Um, I was, my head was all bruised up. I think I had a bruise or two on my face. Um, so then he leaves, and then he comes back. He leaves, and then I stay in the RV. I have all the doors locked, and in the RV in the bedroom, there's a window unit that you don't usually have in RVs, but I guess they installed it because it's like one of those you live in that stays there. And I was in the bed. I couldn't go to sleep. I was just like, I don't know. I just couldn't believe what had just happened. So I'm sitting there. Thank God I didn't go to sleep. A couple hours later, like every sound I heard, every no, everything just freaked me out because I didn't know if that was him coming back or if that was him that he met somewhere as I was coming back. And all of a sudden, the window unit starts coming through the window, and it's him pushing the window unit inside the window and coming in the window. I never in my life got up and flew out of a door as fast as I did. I started screaming. The whole RV park heard me. I started screaming. I flew out that door and started running. My cousin, again, was right there both times this happened. I started screaming. I ran out the door and she's standing there looking at me like, what are you doing? And then right after that, here comes Kevin running out the door behind me. And she was like, dude, I'm really calling the cops now. Like, are you really fucking serious right now? Like, what in the world are you doing? Didn't I just tell you not, you know what I mean, to leave? Like, whatever. And then when she saw how he got in, because they had called the sheriff's office because I still never called the police on him. And so the sheriff's office came and inspected because he damaged the RV by pushing in the window unit and everything and trying to get into the window. So the police came and looked at the damage and everything and looked at me and took pictures and left, and then like 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, they called me and told me that they had him in custody. And I was okay at the time with it. And then I still didn't go to sleep because even though he was in jail, I didn't know who he knew out here, but behind me, I didn't know who he was buying drugs from that I didn't know. I didn't know who he knew that could have come attack me. So I still wasn't okay. So the next morning at 8, and mind you, this happened like at around midnight. Like at 8 o'clock in the morning, first thing in the morning, I get a phone call from Pima County Sheriff's Office or the courthouse or whatever. And she said that the judge is going to let him out with an order to not go around you or to contact you. And I said, that's pretty damn good. I said, he is going to kill me. And you guys are just telling someone to not come around me, not contact me. Obviously, you have no prior anything to do with people who are on drugs or people who have, who beat on people. Like, if they want you, they gonna get you. It don't matter if they got a cop in front their face. If they want you, they gonna get you. You know what I mean? And like, you're really putting my life in danger. Like, he just got arrested a couple of hours ago. Now the judge is just letting him go. Mind you, he has a warrant in Louisiana for breaking parole. And they were like, I don't know what to say, ma'am. If he comes around you, please call 911. And I'm like, I'm not going to have time. I went off on this lady because, yeah, he got out or whatever. But before he got out, when I found out he got out, I called my aunt, and my uncle abused her severely, her whole marriage or whatever. So I knew what she knew I was going through. So she let me go stay over there with her, and I was there for like a week. And then, he started texting me and I'm sorry and this and that and sweet talking his way back into my life. So a week later, I went back with him and everything continued. And then this is between December 18th and 2000 and April 2000, December 2018, April 2019. So when we get into this motel from the RV park, I say something. I don't remember what I said. This is all I remember. I mentioned something to him. He grabbed my hair. I remember him grabbing my hair. I remember crying, sitting up crying and saying, please don't leave me. I'm all alone and I don't know what to do. I couldn't see anything. All I heard was him. I just kept begging him not to leave. And then I remember, sorry, whatever, but the next thing I remember is us having sex, but I don't remember it. I just remember the image. And then the next thing I remember is 2 days later. I don't know what happened to me in those days. I don't know what happened to me when I woke up. I had a black eye the size of a softball on my left eye, and it took 2 weeks to fade away to where it wasn't noticeable. This is just some of the extreme stuff that I've been through. I've been through so many more. I just don't want to keep talking about it because I know other people probably don't want to hear this. But yeah, I went through a lot more than that. And then I left him April of 2019. I flew back home to Louisiana. And then when we moved here last year back to Tucson, um, my birthday, December 2nd of 21, I took him back. And he came here to Tucson and everything was hunky dory. And my dumbass had meth here. But I didn't tell him. I picked it up. I didn't do it. I had it here for a long time. I didn't do it. Um, and
Hey, chaotic.
for months, everything was fine. And then one day, I was like, fuck it. So I showed him I had it. And then that was the end of that. And then February 26th or 27th, it was the end of February, was the very last time he ever touched me. And if he would want to get back with me right now, I probably would. And I was going to buy him a motorcycle the last day he ever put his hands on me. And one thing he always told me every time he was being me really bad was, I'm going to K you, bitch. I'm going to K you, bitch. And I know that eventually he's going to K me, but maybe that's my destiny because I can't get over him.
No, you
And
see,
that's
that's
why I wanted that. Sorry. That's why I wanted that charm from you.
oh yeah, it's definitely going in the mail first thing in the morning. But you now have the power to tell your story. So the outcome that he thought he was going to have while you was silenced, that whole outcome has changed. Like there is no way that he can get away with doing anything. Your story is out there and your words are very powerful and now own you own it. And a lot of times when people are silenced, the abuse comes back 2, 3, 4 years later. But once they start coming open with it, the one causing the abuse, they lose their grounding. They they just lose, plain and simple.
I think he's in jail right now because my stupid ass went tried to contact him again and his phone was turned off. So the next month I tried to contact him and it was turned off, so I knew he had to be locked up. So I called DOC and it says that he's located in Baton Rouge somewhere. So I know y'all are gonna like be like I'm stupid or something, but
Never.
I
No.
always promised him. I always promised him if we were together or not, I would never leave him alone in there.
No. I mean, honestly, whatever you decide to do, if you decide to reach out and make contact, there is no judgment here whatsoever. I mean, everything that I have researched and studied and been through, I would advise you not to make that contact, especially if he's not really doing anything to you at the moment. But even if you do, that's your choice, and that's the whole point of having your voice. And nobody here will ever say they or even think that you are stupid. You know, life takes us down a lot of twisting roads, and we never know what tomorrow is going to hold. But I do ask that if at some point you do want to reach out and make contact, and especially if he gets out of prison, then let somebody know. That way you have an outside support system. And if we don't hear from you, you know, we will go on the warpath for you.
I don't know what to do. I want to, and I don't want to. It's hard. It's really hard. Like, I love this man more than I've ever loved my ex husband in my whole 9 years of marriage.
Yeah, but the way he treated you, that's not love on his part. Like the love in the relationship came from you. And that's what he's grown accustomed to. Like the fact that you feel like you still need to reach out and stuff, that's literally what he has just drilled into you. And at some point, you know, write down the pros and the cons of reaching out to him. And then look at those pros, and I can almost guarantee you that every one, minus maybe two or three, would be because it's in his best interest, not in yours. And that right there will show you that it's how he is still in your head.
He's always gonna be in my head. Like, I really don't want to be with anyone. If I can't be with him, like, I'm fucking 44 years old. What am I gonna do? Like, the 8 years of my life was him.
That time that you spent with him, that got you to where you are today. Whatever you decide to do today gets you through tomorrow or the next day or the next day. The thing that you have to keep in mind is currently, at this moment, you are safe. I mean, yeah, the paper, the whole system, all that, that's not keeping you safe. You are keeping you safe by using your voice, by, you know, helping other people. By helping other people, you in return help yourself. That's literally all of us that is here right now. That's the same thing that we do. We can't deny our past because it did get us to where we are. But the whole key to all of this is safety for tomorrow.
You know, the reason why I come on here and talk to y'all and try to be funny or make y'all laugh or whatever and just come spend like all kind of time with y'all in here is because I don't have a support system in real life.
But you
No
do
matter
get
who I
this.
live with, no matter who I know, no matter nothing. I have no support system in my real life, and it feels good to come on here. And if it's real or not, it feels good to feel like you
Hey,
actually do.
Jimbo. Well, I can tell you from me personally, I am here as your support system. I don't see YouTube. When I say in everybody's chats, howdy fam or whatever, there is so many people on here in various chats that I do personally feel as family. Maybe long distance family, some may be closer to me or whatever. But at the end of the day, we go through babies being born. We go through funerals. We go through graduations. We go through promotions and job losses. And everything that we do on YouTube, some people like to, make it all drama and stuff. But for the real ones that go in from chat to chat, I mean, it's like me and Chaotic yesterday. We was on almost every chat together. That's family. That's somebody that's there. And you have that too. Like, you have a really big support system. So when you come on to YouTube and you start your channel, or you come onto a different panel, or you're just talking in chat, you know, it's family. It's time being spent with you. So I hope that you don't ever feel like you are alone. Because when I offer my friendship or up to the whole, howdy fam thing, I'm totally sincere in that. Like, it's not just sitting behind a keyboard. And many others are exactly the same way.
But it's been a rough week for me. I can say that, but um,
Hey,
I do go to see my psychiatrist tomorrow, so I'm gonna just lay everything out on the line for him because um, I'm crying right now, and I can't make myself cry, even if I wanted to. Like I hear all this true crime stuff, and it is sad, and it is this, and people are like, this is making me cry. Oh my god, I'm crying watching this, or oh my god, I'm like, I can't make myself cry. I'll get pissed the f off to where I want to cry. I cannot cry for nothing. I'm sitting here bawling my eyes out like a effing baby.
yeah, see, I don't know if you're able to read some of these comments.
I'm not
But,
looking at anything because I have my glasses off because
okay,
I was crying.
well, I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to read a couple of them to you. Um, there's one that says, Gator, you will never be too old to find real love. By keeping yourself in his jail keeps you from finding what you truly deserve. It hurts like hell to leave and be strong enough. You can do it. And then Sarah says, Gator, I think a lot of us can relate to that here. Mars agrees, saying absolutely. Anita says, Stone Gator, you have me as part of your support system. October, yes, Sarah smiles. I'm a DV survivor. There is absolutely nothing better to God that it is not lost time. It was learning my strength. I took classes to learn how, why, and what. Then Mars says, Gator, I may be on YouTube, but I'm real and I am here for you. Grandma watches, I believe in you, Gator. Sarah, Gator, I do like seeing you around. October, stoned. I think of you so many times and you are more capable than you know. That's just some of them. You'll have to go back and read, but you really do have a huge support system.
Thank you, because I do feel all alone.
Never. You are never alone. And I know that's something that you're going to have to realize on your own time. We can say it over and over and over, but at some point you will feel it. It won't be just you hearing it or seeing it on a screen. You will feel it when you allow yourself to. Because I can tell you right now, from everybody that is in this chat right now, there's nobody that would walk away from you. They would all listen, they would be there to support you. So, like I said, this is family. This is what family is. It doesn't matter about blood, it doesn't matter about distance. We all come together when it's important.
And it's sad whenever people that you don't even know that you meet on social media, like, not treat you, but yeah, like treat you better than your own family or the people in your real life or whatever. Like, I live with these people, but I don't have conversations with them every day, and I live with them. So when I say I'm alone, and even though they have people here, I am alone. I can't talk to them about anything. I keep it all inside. And I really feel like I'm bothering people with my quote unquote problems, so I just keep them in because nobody can do anything. I feel it's except say they're sorry because I just have to figure it out on my own. It's just hard. Hard.
You're not alone now. I mean, I can see on the outside looking in that you haven't been alone. But it coming out of a situation, it does make you question everything and everyone. But now, all these people here, especially the ones that's in chat, and I am pretty sure it goes on to quite a few more that's not in here just because of how I have seen them interact with you. You're not alone and you could reach out to anyone. And I am thinking there is an app called Line, and I guess it's kind of like Kick or whatever, but I'm actually thinking about downloading that and setting up a never silent chat. That way, I mean, everybody can mute the chat if they join it. You can just mute it and then go to it whenever. But there are some times that we're not online or on YouTube, or somebody that you want to talk to isn't in a chat that you are in on somebody's live. So I personally would like check that chat every day, but it would be a good way for people to have support, have a resource handy if they need it. So I'm kind of working on setting that up too. For like I said, you can totally mute the whole chat. Like you don't have to just keep it on and just check it whenever. But I think that would be a good support system too. And it would basically be us, as in the ones here, whoever wants to be in it, and then whoever else, on the outside of this chat that is part of this group and other chats with us. And that's one thing that I've been kind of thinking on, to have kind of an outside thing of this channel.
I'm sorry that I cried. Like, I hate crying. It's so
Do
embarrassing.
do not apologize for that. And don't allow it to be embarrassing at all. Like there's literally no one here judging. Like everybody's just here for support. And tears are very helpful. They really are. Yeah, see, everybody's telling you not to say that. Crying is very cleansing. Crying is just a part of life. And I didn't like read the comment, but I seen one from Sane come up um, somewhere. Yeah, she says, "Yes, family. I'm crying so hard because I feel family here and I've been alone for so long."
Who said that?
Sane and sane.
I
So,
don't know who that is, but that's how I feel too.
um, her story is the one that I had started this with. I know at some point she will be able to come up and tell it, but as I had summed up before you got here, I started an Amazon list for her, but she was in Jimbo's last night. Finally, she is stubborn. By the way, sane insane. I'm just gonna say it. You are very stubborn. I mean, you go, girl. You own that, but like you are stubborn. It has taken me like almost a month to even get her to go into other people's chats, and then she would go in and sit there kind of quietly. But last night, she finally subscribed to Jimbo and she spoke. So I am very happy that that happened. But her story, I'll sum it up once again really quick for you. She was with this guy since they were young teens, 13, 14, 15, whatever, something like that. And at 17, they both left their homes that was both abusive and they got an apartment. He was really good for a while, then he started throwing things at her. Um, when they turned 19 and got engaged, he had her convinced that he owned her. He was going to her work and stuff and stalking her, even though she still hasn't really realized that that was stalking, because he convinced her that he could do it because he owned her. Well, she is a non binary trans girl, and she's been waiting on her surgery letters and stuff to come through. Well, the last incident a couple months ago, she's a nurse, but she helps out. It's like a family store or something, like on the weekends and stuff there. And he got her in the cooler, and he decided to perform his view of those surgeries on her. So he wrapped her in her only non binary item that she had, which was a non binary flag kind of blanket. And then she ended up being in the hospital and got out. And then at the apartment, she left. She's been living in her car ever since. She was off work. She went back to work, still living in her car. She has an apartment that I've helped her get into that is, well, it's available now, but she's not going to have the $425 to get it until 3 more weeks. It's like on the 27th or something like that. And now there's a couple of people that's kind of in competition with her for that apartment. But I had talked to the landlord and, got him to actually hear the need of her to have it, because they have like a security guard and stuff like that that is always on the property, which would be really good for her. And so I've been helping her out with that for a while. I've got one lady that once she gets the apartment, she's going to give her like a microwave and a sofa, and there's a few things on that list from her. I started the Amazon list with some gift cards that can go to the apartment. Hopefully, maybe get it before the 3 weeks so she don't actually lose it. And then a non-binary blanket that is a little bit different than the one that she had. Um, my hope is that it's not going to trigger her because of her situation, but this one is like a galaxy, so it's kind of sparkly and stuff. to remind her of the good thing of the community, freedom, survivorship, stuff like that. So, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. She's like an hour and like 40 minutes or so from me. So, I've been trying to do everything I can for her, trying to get her assistance and trying to keep her safe. And I think yesterday or day before, I actually got an organization up there to deliver her some clothes and, like shampoo and just simple items like that she can keep in her car, because being a nurse, she can shower at the hospital, plus she gets a meal a day there. So yeah, that's what I've been doing a lot here, um, in the last couple of weeks. And Feel the Love, she comes in every now and then. She's been in Jimbo's too. I have just recently got her out of a situation, and so like she's doing great. And for me, I literally use Feel the Love. Her name is Maria. I literally use her as my example of something that I accomplished, because she was so terrified to reach out for any type of help for herself, and it literally fell all on me, but I was more than happy to do it. But I kind of consider her story my success story, but not me taking credit away from her being a survivor, or her, getting out of the situation and stuff like that, because that's totally all her. Like, she owns every bit of that credit. But for me, working with her, it showed me that I can do this. That I have it in me to do this. So I'm hoping I get the same outcome with Sane and Sane. And Mars, you just keep talking. I still say I'm sorry, but I'm getting better at not saying it so much. In this channel, you can say whatever you want as many times as you want to say it. And if any of y'all have channels, or of other channels like Jimbo's and stuff like that, totally feel free to drop them. Like, it's family. We support each other. So drop your channels or anything like that as many times as you want. October non-binary is, okay, to keep it simple, it's either basically no gender or both genders in one. And no, of course, there is totally no offense taken. That's part of what this channel is about, explaining things. But she is a non-binary trans woman. So she was born male, she transitioned to female. So she's basically lived life on both sides of the gender spectrum. And even though she does go by the she, her pronouns because she presents as female, basically on the inside, like at her own personal level, she has no gender. She has no, well, obviously she has the female presentation of her gender, but the non-binary part for her is just more on the inside, like it's who she is at her core. She doesn't have views of male or female. So, I mean, that kind of sums up. Some that are non-binary, they claim both genders, and some that are non-binary actually claim no gender at all, and they usually go by they and them pronouns. But there is also many other ones. I have a video about pronouns actually on the channel somewhere. Exactly, Grandma. Like, I have no problem explaining anything, and there is no such thing as a stupid question on this channel anyway. I don't know how it will be when, other channels, the ones I go to, the ones I mod for and stuff, like, it's pretty much the same as here, but yeah, I have no problem with asking any question, nor will I ever say that any question is stupid or crazy or anything like that. And so far, the only ones that I have had to ban on this channel was those nude pic, things that they always drop in random chats. So far, luckily, I have been really, really lucky to not have drama on this channel. But I do know the ones that come here, like I said, it is family and we kind of all chat hop together. So we just know how everybody is.
I don't, I don't, as far as the questions that I ask are way off the wall. There's no question anybody can ask that I can ever say anything about the crazy questions I come up with. But I'm the same way, but I always ask questions just because, like, not that I'm nosy, but because I legit want to, I mean, I was going to ask you what a non binary blanket was.
Yeah, it's just a blanket. If you look at that link later, I'll post it on the community page. But the non-binary colors is yellow, white, purple, and black. As where like you have the rainbow flag, the transgender flag is blue, pink, white, pink, blue. And so non-binary has their own colors. um Lesbians have like their own color. Then there's like the demisexual, they have their colors, and ace has their colors. But we like all fit under the rainbow. But then each one has like their own certain colors.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the non-binary blanket, I mean, obviously a blanket can be used by anybody. But it's literally like if you seen just a rainbow pride blanket and you got it for like, I don't know, your gay best friend or whatever for Christmas. Well, for Sane and Sane, the only thing that she had that represented her non-binary side was a blanket that he in turn wrapped her in after the mutilation. So that's why I put that on the list. It's different from the one that she had described to me that she had. That way, it doesn't trigger the memory of what he did, but it's like a galaxy non-binary blanket, so that it has like stars and sparkles and stuff with the non-binary colors. So yeah, that's the whole purpose of that blanket. Yeah, there's so many things that fall under the LGBTQIA umbrella.
I know, and it's so confusing. And like Nevaeh's boyfriend is trans, girl into guy, and he has so many problems in Pennsylvania where he lives, and like she has to hear it all the time, and then I hear it, but um he tends to be very quiet because he gets bullied a lot, and he's only 19 years old.
You
So
you can give him my email. Um, this is totally not a pat on my shoulder, or big head, or ego, or anything. But if there's anybody that can help him, I can. And I don't mean that like, it's not egotistical or narcissistic or anything like that. But I can guarantee you that I can actually help him. Because as many parts of the community that I am in, like just me personally, I fall under so many different categories. Like I can't even keep up with it. That's why I always just say I'm human. Like, plain and simple. I'm human. But I mean, I hate labels. It's just like literally, and anything that he needs, like a support system for being a trans male, I got him. Seriously, 100%. Just give him my email. I will, or I'll email you my phone number or whatever, and you can have him text me. If he's not comfortable right off the bat, we can do like a little group chat and text or something. But yeah, I totally got him. If you can put me into contact with him.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
What do you identify as under the rainbow?
I'm trans, I'm gay, I'm non-binary, I'm straight questioning. I'm serious. There's so many that I fall into. Like, I cannot even categorize myself.
Are you female to male also?
Yes.
Okay, I when I was listening to you, I was like, that sounds like she's speaking from the source.
Oh yeah, totally.
And you said you can, be there for them and everything.
I'm surprised you actually haven't heard that before. Like,
But
I that I was trans. Like, I've literally been very open about that. I just like to confuse people when they start questioning if my kids are adopted or this or that, or sometimes it's fun to just play along. You know,
well,
like,
it's confusing to me, and I didn't know how to ask you without because some people get really offended by questions when they're simple questions, but they might sound ignorant to someone in the other party. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, no,
Like,
nobody ever has to worry about anything like that with me. I am totally an open book,
I don't
literally.
know if you ever caught me, but I called you she, I called you he, and then I think the next thing I went to was just they because I was so confused and I didn't want to ask you because I don't know, I don't usually do that. Um, come out and
Normally,
ask.
normally my pronouns are he and him, but I also use they, them, and zir, and sometimes they and them. And I have actually slapped somebody for calling me a she, but they did that to be mean, so I was mean back. Not my best moment, but I didn't go to jail for it, so I consider it a win. But yeah, I transitioned like, oh my god, like almost like 8 years ago or so. Like, testosterone, like everything. So yeah, I'm really open. Like, I tell my journey like all the time.
Did you have the surgery?
No, I'm actually in the process of that though.
Or what state are you in?
Oklahoma. And the whole medical thing is like really crazy. So
That's
like, we have to have 2 letters from a counselor. And when I had went to a counselor, like, she was like all good about it and everything, and then when the time came, she decided to just drop me, and basically no explanation or anything about it, and therefore no letter. And then when I signed the kids up on the Trans Santa thing, they sent out a link for 6 months of free counseling through BetterHelp. And so I have a gay counselor, and the very first time I talked to him, he's like, "Where do you want your letters sent?" And I told him, I'm like, "Well, I can't really do anything about it until tax time comes in because I can't really take off of work and stuff right now. So, like, around March or so, I actually will officially have my letters, but I'm still continuing to see him, but I don't actually see him for counseling. He actually helps me with the videos and stuff that I do."
so the counselor himself is a gay person.
Yes.
Oh, that's really good then. Like that's why I quit my like I love my psychiatrist, but my counselor, I quit her because like I just didn't feel a connection with her because it's hard when you try to tell your story to someone who says they understand but has never walked a step in your shoe. How can you understand what I'm going through and what I'm trying to tell you when you have no idea?
what I'm going through.
Ex-
And that's why I'm going to start in group sessions with people who actually have BPD, and go like that. And because that way I can talk to someone who actually knows what it feels like to have BPD. And so I think that's really awesome.
yeah,
That
it does help. It really does. But no, I've helped a lot of people actually get to counselors and stuff that would understand them. Only thing is most of those people have not been in Oklahoma when I helped them. So there's counselors like literally worldwide that are awesome, but we just don't have them here in Oklahoma at all. And the counselor that I'm using through BetterHelp, um, he's not in Oklahoma either. Like it's just online video. So we literally have our weekly session, and he asks me how I'm doing, and I literally tell him, "Oh, I'm good. Just aggravated at my coworker or whatever." And then he'll be like, "Okay, so what is our topic today?" And then I'll be like, "Okay, well, like last week it was bullies, and the week before that was the domestic violence, and right now it's the substance abuse." So he'll be like sending me links and stuff that I need to look at to get the information. So literally, my counseling session is being turned over into this channel to actually help other people. So my counseling is still to help other people. It's kind of funny how that works, but
that's kind of good because not a lot of people feel the strength to go to counseling, or can afford it or whatever in any situation. But at least if they feel like they can trust you and understand you, then, versus going to a medical professional, whatever, they
yeah,
might can relate to you easier than, a certified counselor, whatever you call them.
yeah. Like I don't know. I've just always found out that it's better to be open because you never know who's going to be around that corner, and using you as a role model, even if you don't know that they chose you for that. And I've had a couple of younger trans kids like 14, 15, 16 come up to me and just randomly be like, I finally got into counseling, or I convinced my mom to let me go live with my aunt because my dad's not supportive or whatever. And it was just literally like me on the phone talking to who knows who about whatever. But these people have just been off to the side, and I honestly didn't even know that they was there while I was having certain conversations, and they overheard it, and then they took the initiative in their life and they made a difference. But then they come back to me to tell me that I had actually helped them. And then I feel really stupid because I don't even know who they are. How did I help you if I don't know you? But
Uh-huh.
that's what woke me up to, there's a lot of silent role models out there. There really is. And I've something that I've actually just been kind of like keeping my eyes and ears open to, because I'm always hearing people, like even in this chat, or maybe not this one specific, but in chats and stuff that we go into, I hear people all the time, "Oh, well, I took your advice on this or that, or this worked for you, so hey, it worked for me too." Like I've seen that a lot. Just never know who you can be a role model for.
Yeah. My oldest nephew grew up being quiet, a gamer, like always stayed to himself. And even through like his whole time, elementary school, middle school, high school, he always stayed to himself and had like one or two friends or whatever. Well, he's on his third year of college right now. And my brother pretty sure is 100% that my nephew is gay. I think maybe
he doesn't know how to come out or whatever. I don't know if my brother is able to talk to him about it or not. Like, I don't know the situation with that, but yeah, so I'm pretty sure that my nephew is gay. So that would, yeah, I just hope that he knows that we really don't have a like gay or lesbian or anyone like. The only thing that we have in our family, which is the children, is like they call themselves bisexual. I don't know if it's from experience or if it's fantasy and you know what I mean? That's usually what the kids that I've seen do, like especially in Nevaeh. And Nevaeh is bi. I don't even know if she's ever been with either one, but it's what she's attracted to, I guess.
You don't have to perform the act to be something. But yeah, I've noticed that here over the past maybe year and a half or so, that a lot of people are just identifying as bisexual now. They, at some point, I guess they were straight and maybe they're questioning, or maybe they just opened up their hearts and be like, hey, I'll just love anybody or whatever. I don't know, but I have seen that happening a lot here lately. Here lately, as in like a year and a half. Um, Bisexual is like right now, percentage wise, on all the LGBTQIA surveys, bisexuality is like the highest category. So I don't know. I
I
mean,
believe that.
I guess it's good. Like, especially if you're young, you haven't had the experience, and you don't really know what it is that you're wanting in a relationship or who you're wanting it with. I mean, don't put yourself in a box when there's so many other choices out there.
I think I'm gonna put myself out here and say something that I've never said to a single soul in my whole entire life. I've
Okay.
never been with a woman. Well, I lie. I had one person like perform oral on me, but I didn't do anything to them. That's what it was. That was like the only thing it was. But like lesbian is one of my favorite porn categories, and I've never been with a woman, but I can't lie and say that I haven't thought about it or wondered what it would be like about it or even fantasize about it. So I'm just like, I guess afraid. I don't know, but I'm not against it. I guess like I say at 44 about finding a date or how do you date or whatever, like I don't know, but what would you call that? Straight with
Questioning.
curiosity?
No, just simply questioning. The Q in LGBTQIA is actually for queer and questioning. Questioning is literally under the umbrella.
Now you're gonna have me thinking more. Like I swear to God, if y'all clip this shit and put it on y'all clip channels, I
No,
really had not I really have not told that to anyone ever. No one. Not
there's
even to my best friend Tony, you guys.
no. If you want to email me, I will just email you my number in a little bit, and I won't forget to hit send. But anyway,
Stop it. Stop. I didn't forget to hit send. I forgot to write the whole freaking email, okay? I
oh well, that's
forgot about
even
it
worse.
altogether.
I'm still gonna say you forgot to hit send,
It
but
sounds better, I
it
know.
really does. But yeah, I will send you my number in a little bit, and any type of questions that you have, I will answer them to the best of my knowledge. I am in no way an expert. It's just my own life, or what others have come to me about, and I've had to research or find a way to help them. So, like, I have a lot of things that I'm knowledgeable about, but
It's real life experiences, and that's
yeah,
what real people need is real people that have gone through it and know, you know.
yeah, exactly, Mars. I mean, the attraction is there, and that's one reason why I hate labels. And I'm telling you guys, I hate labels. Like, my pillows don't even have tags on them. My sheets, the tag comes off before they even come out of the plastic package that they're in. Like, I seriously hate labels, and that's labels with anything.
Do you
But
take labels off your canned goods and write what it is with a permanent marker?
no, I am not that bad. But since you have
Okay.
mentioned that, oh my God, everybody is seriously going to freaking kill me now because, that's going to be a thing. But you see, I never really considered them labels. I just considered them the package. Like, it's the package. But
Oh.
yeah, eventually I will post on my community page all my just, written on canned goods. No, I'm not that bad, but I hate labels. I really do. And I cannot wrap my head around why everything has to have a label. Like, we are not defined by one aspect of our life. We have so much about us. And even though, like, at first we was talking about domestic violence, our situations that we had in our past for domestic violence, that, yes, made us who we are and stuff today, but it does not define us. So now we move over talking about sexuality and gender orientation, and those two are the same way. They do not define who we are. That's just what other people see in us, or by our expressions, or what we verbally acknowledge, or whatever. Like, I
Right.
have no use for labels.
And that's why I asked you because like I didn't want 'cause I know pronouns for a non-binary person or even a gay person or bi person or whatever you choose to identify as. um I know that when they're not getting called the right pronoun, like sometimes people that really know what they identify as, if that's what you want to call it, you'll say, like I did for you, like I was saying he. I'm just going to tell you straight out how it was. I was calling you he because you said that you was gay and you had a husband, so I assumed that you was a male. I'm just going to tell you how it came about. So then I called I was calling you. I don't know the right word. I got high after that. I had bad anxiety after that story. But then when I came into your channel and I listened to you speak, then I felt like you was a female. So then I would call you she. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I just don't know. I need to ask, but I don't know how. And so because I felt like I was disrespecting you. And then I felt like if I asked, I was disrespecting you. So I just would say they and them because I wasn't sure. And I feel like I'm disrespecting you more than I did before now. But I just wanted
No,
you to
you're
know the
not.
story of how I was like and why I did it.
No, there is no disrespect in that. And either way, my pronouns, the ones that I do go by in everyday life, is he and him. And I totally identify as male, live life as male. Um, I actually have my job based on being male, but I also do go by the they them pronouns. But I'm not one of those crazy people that think everybody just has to use the straight up proper pronoun for me personally. But I will defend anybody that says they have a pronoun and then it's just over and over disrespected.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even if the people are, the person's an asshole, I will still defend them, even if, they prove to be an asshole. But for
I think
me,
you might be talking about the same
yeah,
person, but in
same
the same
person.
way.
Like
I'm the same way. Yeah.
to this day, I will still defend that person because that person specifically said that their pronouns is she and her. So I will continue to defend that person. But I will not defend that person on any other thing other than that because they are a complete asshole. And yeah, I said it. But
Um, Let
yeah,
me ask you another question, but and then I know you've been up here a long time. You probably want to end. Um, do you know House of Williams on YouTube?
no, I don't.
Okay. Well, she's trans, male to female, and she has a YouTube channel in the true crime drama community. She's really good friends with Molly Golightly, and I feel like I've never felt this with anybody, but really, like, she really, really made me feel this way. Like, everything, you know how every channel gets trolls and every channel gets people in there talking shit? You know, every channel, no matter where you go, it happens,
Exactly.
right? Okay, everything that happens, if someone says a negative comment, even though it's not about her sexuality or whatever, um, if it's a troll just being stupid or somebody making a stupid comment about her topic, it's always because she's trans.
Yeah, I see. I'm not like that. Like my identity is not the focus of my life. Like there are many other things that are more important than how I identify. You know, like for example, helping sane insane. I'm not trying to help her because she is trans. Like I'm not picking her out of a whole lineup and being like, you're trans, I'm going to help you.
Right.
It has nothing for me, gender and orientation and stuff like that. That's just kind of like an underlying factor that, makes somebody who they are. You give me a channel that's solid, like yours, you cover many different topics. The other day, I popped into Mars' channel. I've been on all these, channels that we click the links and we subscribe. Sometimes I miss the live, sometimes I go back and watch them or whatever. But I go there because of the content and because of the person, not because of who they are, like how they identify. But there is a lot in the community that everything has to be about that, and they drive me crazy.
Damn breaker again. That's what happened? Hello?
Yeah, you're still here.
Dude, I was like listening, all of a sudden you went quiet, and I'm like, hello, hello, hello.
No,
And
okay.
then um and then I couldn't hear nothing, so I went to comments, and then all of a sudden it says back online. And what happened was the breaker went out, and I didn't realize it. And I guess when it went from Wi-Fi to data, it cut me out. But if you kept hearing me say hello, that's why I really wasn't being
Yeah. Okay,
sorry. That
Alex,
was weird.
have a good night, and thanks for sitting here listening to all the crap that we like to talk in here.
Thanks
But
for listening to my crap. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.
hey, but yeah, I am going to be closing this out because I think I got a notification that Jimbo was live or had posted a video or something. I don't know. But I am going to channel hop for a little bit and see what everybody else is doing. The next live will be Saturday, I think. It's already posted anyway. And then next midweek, we will do this again. So thank you all for showing up for this. Much love to everybody.